What up? What up? What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Church Guys Sports Show for November. I'm sorry, January. I'm in November. January the 19th, 2024. Yo, there is no game on tonight. There is no game on tonight. Our Knicks did win last night. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But in talking with the fellas today, we decided that it needed to come on today to talk about a lot of the goings on around the league, around sports, and as well as trade deadline news as we prepare to get ready for that. So we're bringing in Bishop Robert Butler, who is here with us on tonight. Bishop Butler, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
What's good, everybody? We here, special edition of Church Guys. Can you hear
Special
me?
edition. Yeah, we hear you guys loud and clear. We hear you
Special
loud and clear.
edition. We're here because we really do need to discuss some things as fans. Um, we were in our text thread earlier today, and I believe, and I am in favor of permanently starting Isaiah Hartenstein.
That's a huge hot take. So as we get started on today, you see it at the bottom of the screen. Like, share, tag, comment. Let's get in the chat. We want to hear from you as well tonight as we're awaiting Bishop Jason McCants as well on tonight. Again, this is not our regular post game show, but this is regular. This is just the Church Guy Sports Show tonight, coming to you live and direct. Again, as Bishop Butler just gave his hot take from our thread today, we're talking about the New York Knicks and talking about all of the different things that have been going on with this team post the Robinson injury, post the trade of for Anunoby, and how this team is coming together. The still some glaring weaknesses in the second unit. Bishop Butler said that he believes that when Mitchell Robinson comes back, he should come off the bench. And to me, that's a hot take. I need y'all to put in the comments what y'all think. Should Hardenstein continue to start? He's played very, very well. Or should Mitchell Robinson resume his starting position? While y'all putting that in the chat and in the comments so that we can talk to y'all tonight, I'm going to give you my take on it. I think that it's important for Mitchell Robinson to be reinserted back into the starting lineup because of Isaiah Hartenstein's skill set and because of the lack of scoring in the second unit. I think having someone like Isaiah Hartenstein in the second unit is important for the Knicks because he's a facilitator as well as being we now see he's a beast rebounder. We now see that he's a much better defensive center than we thought he was initially. But that offensive piece is so important. And I just don't think that in the first unit with a Brunson and with a Randall that the offense is as important. So that's why I'm okay with reinserting Mitch into that starting lineup. El disagrees.
I do disagree, and the reason why I disagree is because you do need him in there, down in that bottom, scoring like that. Here's what Mitchell Robinson does. Because Mitchell Robinson, I sent y'all guys the numbers. You see the numbers. The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. On top of the fact that, to me personally, I feel if Mitchell Robinson is coming off the bench, he may stay healthy.
Okay. Okay.
He might stay healthy if he's coming off the bench. I mean, this guy. Don't get me wrong. Mitch Robinson he's a dog, but Isaiah Hartenstein has built or established a chemistry with this starting unit that personally I feel is, look at what he's averaging right now as a starter. He's averaging somewhere between 11 and 13 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
You were never getting those numbers from Mitchell Robinson.
True.
Ever. You were never getting those numbers from Mitchell Robinson. And I firmly believe, I really believe that if Mitchell Robinson was in this starting lineup right now as it is currently constructed, you still wouldn't be getting those numbers. And it's because he doesn't. I don't want to sound like he's not good because he is an exceptional defensive player. But Hartenstein has proven to also be a very good defensive player. But his defense always turns into offense for him. Whereas it doesn't for Mitch. His offensive rebounds always turn into points for him. Whereas that does not happen with Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson has butterfingers. We all know that. He's not a dog of a rebounder. Is he a shot blocker? Absolutely. But he blocks a shot, and he blocks that shot into another teammate of the opposing team. So they're getting second chance opportunities all the time. We're not seeing that with Hartenstein on the floor. You're not seeing other teams get second chance opportunities like that. Once he grabs that ball, it's either he's putting it back or it's an outlet. And so I really believe that with the second unit, I think that Mitch Robinson would be I think it would be advantageous for us to have him in that second unit because of his running guns. He wants to run. He wants to run. Run with that second unit. I guarantee you, running up the court with that second unit, you know how many alleys will be thrown in his direction just off of the. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you saw that with Obi Toppin on the previous couple of years with the second unit, but Mitch doesn't have Obi's motor in terms of getting up and down the court like that. He may want to run, but
that's true.
I've not seen that motor.
Because because the starting unit doesn't run like that. Listen to me. When you know it, notoriously, historically, Thibodeau's team the starters don't run like that. They're not running gun. Now, if this was a D'Antoni starting lineup, Mitch Robinson would probably be averaging about 15 points a game. He would be the next stat if this is a D'Antoni lineup. But this is a Tibbs lineup, which is defense oriented, slow it down, get the ball across the half court, set the half court play, and let's make it happen. It's never tailored toward a big man, ever. The only way the big man gets burned is in the second unit in a Thibodeau offense. Why? Because by the time the second unit gets in, you pretty much already got the game. Most times, you already have the game.
Well, for me, it's not even about who starts; it's about who finishes. That's the most important thing. And
I don't think Robinson is a finisher neither.
Right now, Hartenstein has proven that he can finish games.
He can finish games,
and
he hits free throws.
And that's why him
down
finishing games is important. And it's one of those things. Whereas, also to your point, I get what you're saying. I mean, for me, they're interchangeable. Honestly, at this point, I just like Mitch's defense just a little more than I like Isaiah Hartenstein's. Although I love the way Hartenstein's been playing defense. I do like Mitch defensively just a little bit more earlier in games. But yeah, late in the game in the fourth quarter, in a close game especially, nobody can play hack-a Mitch if Hartenstein's on the floor because he's a big that's going to make his free throws.
Exactly.
And, so for me, even if Mitch starts, Hartenstein's going to finish. For me, exactly. Hartenstein, if I'm coaching that team, Hartenstein's finishing every game because he has now proven to me that he can be that finisher. I want J Mac to come on and hurry up and get on here because I want to talk through that bomb he kind of threw at us saying, well, if that's the case, do we need to explore the possibility of trading Mitchell Robinson while his value is still very, very high?
We gave him a bag, which I think we had to do because our backs was against the wall.
Oh, absolutely. It's similar to what happened when we paid Julius Randle before we signed Obi Toppin and drafted Obi Toppin. You signed Julius Randle because, you signed him based on potential. Now, he has blossomed into that all-star, yes. But, I mean, as much as people get mad about the Obi Toppin trade, the reality was if Julius didn't blossom into the all-star, it was going to be Obi's job. But he did. So,
right.
No sense crying over spilled milk. Obi needed to be moved because Randle that's your starting four. Same thing with Mitch. You didn't know what you were getting with Isaiah Hartenstein when you signed him. You signed him to be your backup center. As we know, Tibbs don't really like to play his backups for any length of time. So he was going to be a 10 to 12 minute a night guy with Mitch playing the lion's share of the minutes. Nobody knew Mitch was going to go. And last year it worked. Don't get me wrong. Last year it worked. But this year we didn't know Mitch was going to go down, and we would have to rely on Hartenstein for so much and for so long. And he's been a revelation this year. He has shown so many different facets of that game that have become so important to me, to the Knicks' success right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And I like seeing. Don't get me. Please don't misunderstand me. In a perfect world, if there's no Mitch Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein is my starting center. But decisions are going to have to be made because Hartenstein signed a 2-year deal, which means he is an unrestricted free agent after this season.
Yes, he is.
So some decisions have got to be made now.
And we're gonna have to bag him up, because I'm telling you right now, this season we're getting better production from Hartenstein. On top of the fact that he can stretch the floor if he wants to.
If Tibbs will let him.
If Tibbs will let him, he could stretch the floor if he wanted to. If Tibbs will let him.
He's made 4 threes this year. Let him shoot. Jesus.
You know, Tibbs is not doing that.
Oh, God. Tibbs annoys me with that. Precious Achiuwa can make threes. You're not stretching the floor with him when he's in the game. What are you doing?
He's a little crazy.
It'll be good to get Mitch back so we can see Precious Achiuwa back at his more natural 4 position. But, you know, I just don't get it. I can talk all day about what I find wrong with Tom Thibodeau.
I really feel like when Mitch comes back, because I got a feeling Mitch is going to come back this season, and I got a feeling what's driving him to come back this season is seeing how Hartenstein has produced.
Oh, they are the Knicks. I'm sorry, I'm doing an L right now. I'm eating in the middle of the show.
Don't worry, because I'm getting ready to stop my camera and go get my Jell-O. Go ahead, keep talking.
Mitch, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mitch has been good this year. Hartenstein has been great this year in terms of that. But they're very encouraged by Mitch's progress so far in his rehab. They're very encouraged. I hate having this little thing up, so I'm going to go solo till he comes back. They're very encouraged by Mitch's progress as far as him returning from this injury. And they said that he's meeting all of his benchmarks so far. So, you know, that 8 to 10 week timeline that, you know, after the All-Star break is looking realistic to have a Mitch Robinson return. I see there's some of you on here. Do me a favor, smash that like, smash that share, smash that comment on it. We're talking regular podcast tonight. There was no game tonight, but we wanted to come on and talk through some things. Knicks, we opened the show talking about Hartenstein versus Robinson at this point because Hartenstein has been so good while Mitch Robinson has been down. Is Mitchell Robinson expendable? If you think Mitchell Robinson is now expendable, or even if you don't, put it in the comments. We want to talk to you on tonight here on the Church Guys Sports Show with me and with Bishop L. We want to talk to you tonight, so let us know. Is Mitchell Robinson expendable now that Isaiah Hartenstein has been a revelation? Mitch got the bag 2 years ago. He's in the second year of contract that's paying him somewhere in the vicinity of about $17 or $18 million a year. But now Isaiah Hartenstein, who is your backup, well, it's currently your starting center, is now going to be in a position to where he's ready to get his bag. So the question begs, what are we looking at in terms of that? What are we seeing? Are the Knicks going to have two $18 million centers? Like, what's going to happen here? So there's a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about with that. We want to talk to you. Hit us up in the comments section. Join in the conversation. We're talking Knicks and all things sports on tonight. Church Guys Sports Show. I'm waiting for El to come on back so we continue this conversation on the expendability of one Mitchell Robinson. So, is Mitch expendable?
No. Because I told you guys what I feel about Mitch. I think he's Marcus Camby all over again. look at what we was getting from Marcus Camby back in 98, 99.
Yeah, yeah.
Coming off the bench behind Pat Ewing. Run up. I sent y'all a clip of that.
Yeah, that game against Golden State.
You saw that. That's Mitchell Robinson all over again.
Mike McFadden says the Knicks could afford it. Keep them both.
Yeah, I don't think he's expendable. Absolutely not. No.
So you're okay with having two $18 million centers. Interestingly enough, I was listening to, while I was at work today, I was listening to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Shout out to Miro and Mello. Fantastic podcast. Y'all ought to check out 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Mello, I had no idea. Mello has an amazing personality. Like, you could tell why his teammates love him. On his podcast, you can truly tell why he is so beloved in the NBA. Mello is a funny dude. But one of the things that I looked at him say, because I caught the episode that Jadakiss was on that they had right before Christmas, and I was listening to that today. And they were talking about giving gifts to various teams in the NBA, and Miro asked, what about our beloved New York Knicks? And he said, I would give them some more cap space to be able to. So even Melo understands the Knicks need that one other player, but they need some cap space to make it happen.
Yeah.
My brother, Pastor Jamel Lewis, what's up, bro? He says, get rid of Mitch. Use him in a package for a bigger player. Now, this is what I said to these guys in our group chat earlier. I said, the only way I'm trading Mitch is if it's in a package for a superstar. If Mitch is expendable.
Superstar? What superstar, though?
Well, Mitch is expendable for a superstar, period, because Mitch is not a superstar. But
Who do you want?
Who
do you want?
Honestly, right now, to be honest, Nikola Jokic. But I know we're not getting him. You asked me who I wanted. Now, realistically, as far as what's out there in the superstar realm, thinking as a GM and not as a fan, because as a fan, I don't like him, Joel Embiid is an intriguing name. I think if Philly this is speaking strictly as a GM. If I've got the opportunity to get Joel Embiid for Mitchell Robinson, Grimes, Fournier, and 3 first-rounders, I'm making that deal. You throw in Tyrese Maxey, I'll really make the deal. Because I'm not trading Mitch for Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not. I'm not trading Mitch for Donovan Mitchell. If I'm going to move a top 5 defensive big in this league, I gotta be getting, number one, another big.
First of all, you
dominant big.
You believe that he's a top 5
defensive big? Absolutely. I'm just talking about that side of the ball. I'm just talking about that side of the ball. No, the all around no. Bishop J Mac is joining us finally.
I was watching the contract signing. I'm sorry, I got caught up. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you was watching SmackDown.
Yes,
yeah.
I got caught up. I got caught up with the contract signing. But I'm
taping it. I'm gonna watch it later.
I'm here.
So we're talking, J-Mac, as Mike McFadden says, who and how many draft picks, which is a great question. So we were sharing with the people your point earlier about you only trade Mitch for a superstar, and Pastor Jamel Lewis agrees with us. Get rid of Mitch, use him in a package for a bigger player. So now L asked the question, who? Who do we want? I said, now as a fan, I hate Joel Embiid, but thinking strictly as a GM, for a package with me, if I'm gonna give up a top 5 defensive big, I need another big, because as we see, if I'm getting a smaller player, I make Hardenstein my starting center. Who's backing him up? Because Precious is cool, but he's undersized. Jericho Sims is cool, but he's undersized. I need another big.
I agree. Listen, we were just shooting, throwing that out there. There's nobody out there.
Really, no. Right.
No,
really, no.
No one.
Because I'm not trading him for Karl Anthony Towns. That's not happening.
first of all, they're not going to give up Carl Anthony right now because they are number
They
one
in first
the
place,
West.
right?
Philly's not giving up Embiid right now. They're number three in the
So let's make it a little bit more realistic. Let me go to ESPN here, and let's look at the dregs of the league right now. So let's go straight to the bottom. In the Eastern Conference, Detroit's at the very bottom. Is there anybody on Detroit's roster that moves the needle for us? No.
No.
Is there anybody on Washington's roster that moves the needle for us? No. Is there anybody on Charlotte's roster that No.
No.
Toronto.
No.
They traded him yesterday.
They just traded Siakam and we got Anunoby, so no.
Right. So they traded their needle move. The guy who could, but Pascal Siakam could have been a needle mover for us as well. So
Quickly, get quickly back.
That's a pipe dream, brother.
right.
Get him back right now.
Toronto is locking him. They gonna give him a bag.
They gonna pay him.
Toronto's giving him the bag. They are building around him.
I'm so nervous about tomorrow's game. The only thing that has me feeling some sense of comfort is the fact that they're 6-4.
Because they have no bench. Because they have no bench.
They lost last night.
Yeah.
They lost last night. Matter of fact, no, are they 6-4 or are they 4-6?
I think they're 4-6.
They're 4-6 since the trade. But they have their problem is they have no bench. Their starting unit is fine. They have no bench. They have no bench at all in Toronto.
The reason why I don't feel nervous is one word. No, two words. Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson.
I am no longer nervous, brother.
We used to
get killed by point guards. Every team would come in here.
Not
we got an answer now.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Last night's game, last night's game, he was just like, first of all, for him to drop 30 in the first game back from injury and then follow that up with 42.
Listen.
First of all, he needs to be an all-star. If he's not an all-star, the league is rigged.
I voted for him today because every vote counted as 3 today, so I voted for Jalen Brunson today.
Let me tell you.
Let me go right now. Let me go right now.
He had a out there last night.
He did. He was cooking.
He was straight cooking.
Michael McFadden thinks that LaMelo Ball is a needle mover. I don't think so. No. I don't. Not for the Knicks. We got Jalen Brunson, so LaMelo Ball's not a needle mover for us.
We don't need any more guards. We got enough guards and small forwards.
The Brooklyn Nets, no needle movers on that team. Now, I'd love to steal Mikal Bridges from him, and from what I'm understanding, Brooklyn are going to be sellers during this trade deadline.
But they're not going to sell across the river.
They might for the right deal. If I could trade Fournier's contract, if I can't get an elite superstar, but I could get Mikal Bridges for maybe just for Fournier by himself, or even Grimes by himself, and maybe one of those mini picks that we have, I make that deal.
Oh, I agree.
Because that's an upgrade.
But Brooklyn don't want to help us in any kind of way. They don't want to help.
So here's an interesting thought. Pastor Jamel Lewis says, "See, this is why you my brother, but we don't even have to lose Mitch for a big. Sign Boogie Cousins, send Mitch to the Clippers for Russell Westbrook and Zubats."
They're not giving them up either, because again, they're right now.
We're being a little bit more realistic, Mel, like teams that are out of it. Because the best players, yes, are on the teams that are in contention. They're not realistic trade partners at this point because everybody thinks they can make a run. He says even send Mitch to Chicago for DeMarcus. You mean Drummond and DeMar DeRozan?
DeMar DeRozan.
They're not going to give us DeRozan and Drummond. They're not going to do that.
I'll be happy.
I'm not against DeMar DeRozan.
I would love DeRozan. He's another one that DeRozan, Murray, any one of those two. I'm good with.
Now, DeMar DeRozan is a needle mover, but I agree. If Mitch is in that deal, I got to get Drummond back because I still need a big.
They're not going to give up Drummond's playing.
Drummond's playing real well.
Yes,
Drummond's playing real well.
I'm very surprised at the numbers he's putting up at this.
And his free throw shooting has gotten better.
Yes, when he came to the Garden with the Bulls, he was cooking down there. And
Yeah.
that was
Y'all
Mitch
excuse me.
Mitch.
Y'all excuse me. I'm voting.
You voting for Jalen Brunson? Go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing. I'm mad at you. Because he needs to be an all-star. Jalen Brunson is an all-star. Like,
Now,
there's no doubt about
what
it.
about Portland and DeAndre Ayton? I mean, they just got him. But what
They
about
just-
DeAndre Ayton?
I think they want to see what they got with him, and I think they're going to try to build around him and Scoot Henderson. So I don't see them making that deal.
That's why I think it's going to be a second-tier player we get at the deadline. We're not going to get a star.
But that's just it. With the chemistry the way it is, DeMar DeRozan could be a needle mover as long as you still have the right players in place.
Now, let me ask you this, Bishop.
Because he's a bucket getter.
Let me ask you this, because
He's a closer, too.
This has been thrown out there since the beginning of the season too. I don't like it, but I'm just throwing it out there to see what you think. Zach LaVine.
No. Zach LaVine's just not a winning player.
Well, what about if he's put in the right system?
Winning is
You
a
probably can
big.
get him bargain. You probably can get him bargain basement.
You can probably get him bargain basement, but I think he upsets the chemistry. I really do.
All right. Listen. I agree with you. I never. When they were saying it, I didn't like the Zach LaVine idea.
The only Bulls player I want is DeMar DeRozan.
I want DeMar DeRozan.
I will. He is a winning player. That's a guy who will come fit in the tip system, can make the mid range, can be a closer if necessary. He's the type of guy where if you put him, you slide him into that, and you slide him into the two. He's a big two. If you put him at the two, him and
you can
Anunoby,
play small with him. You can play small with him and let him go to the three.
And play Anunoby at the four. So you can go big, you can go small. There are a lot of different things you can do with DeMar DeRozan, and he's a plus defender as well. Again, not elite, but a plus defender. Somebody who's not going to lose you the game on the defensive end of the game, defensive end of the ball.
I know y'all probably talked about it already, but you think what Atlanta's asking for is too much for for Murray?
Well, I haven't seen Atlanta's total offer yet. So, I mean, I know they're saying it is, but what are they asking for?
Well, from what Bishop Butler put up today, I know you said it was too much, but I'm telling you, we've been sitting on these picks forever. I'm all right.
Well, no, listen. Now, I don't think that fake news one. I don't think that was too much. I'm okay with that deal. Fournier, Grimes, and 2 firsts. We still got 4 left,
and they won and a second.
Even with the second, we still got 4 first-round picks left after that.
That's why I said if they ask you for that,
like the Knicks have stockpiled picks for this reason. Make that. If you can make that deal, make it. Make that deal. Because, again, DeJounte Murray in this system, like DeRozan, is a needle mover in this system.
And would flourish. And it would take pressure off of Brunson having to carry the load down the stretch every night.
Right. And you have DeJounte Murray running with that second unit in the second quarter. That's different. You got somebody who can get their own shot, can make the three, can guard the opposition's point guard, and it gives us a bona fide starter playing against the other team's bench.
And Josh Hart with that second unit, and if you want to stick him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, done. Okay, great. Y'all go on NBA.com and vote Jalen Brunson into the All-Star game as a starter.
I'll be doing it when we get off. I'll be going.
Jalen and Julius.
And Julius Randle.
Yep.
Vote. I don't care who else you vote for, but vote Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle to be starters. Coming into today, Jalen was 6th amongst Eastern Conference guards, and he had made up ground because he was 10th a week ago. And he was like 0.3 points behind Trae Young. So he should be able to overtake Trae Young and pass him today.
Yeah.
Doug Woodall asked, do you guys know if there's any truth to the AD requesting a trade? Fake news, Bishop. Fake news.
What did he ask? I can't see.
Someone had posted a
Photoshop.
It was Photoshopped. Yeah, I went and vetted it. It was Photoshopped. It wasn't a real Woj bomb. So, yeah, AD has not requested a trade yet. Not yet. But I think if the Lakers keep free-falling, Now that would be the needle mover
Where there's
out of the
smoke, there's
Western
fire.
Conference.
They won last night though.
They did. But if that free fall continues, February 8th could be very, very interesting. Jamel says, I'm telling y'all, the Clippers would move Russ and Terrence Mann for Mitch and some picks. I'm telling you, and sign Boogie Cousins in free agency. I understand what you're saying, but I just don't think they would do it right now because their chemistry is good. I just can't see I can't see Tyronn Lue being okay with this front office doing that right now. I can't see that.
Boogie Cousins he's been so far removed from the league right now. I don't, even if he could play, GMs don't like to pull players that's been removed out of the NBA for like 2 or 3 years and then go bring them back. They don't customarily do that.
You said Russ is only playing 10 minutes a game. I mean, he would only play 10 minutes a game here. He'd be playing behind Jalen Brunson.
Listen, I would be so mad if this guy was here. The way he jack up shots. Listen, Tibbs would sit him down in a heartbeat. He would have a short leash here.
Yes, I totally agree with that. When was the last time the Knicks had played? Last year? Julius Randle was an all-star last year, Bishop Goodall.
Julius was an all-star.
Julius was an all-star last year.
And Jalen got snubbed.
And Jalen got robbed last year.
He got robbed last year.
He was robbed. Just like Quickly was robbed of the six-man last year.
Yeah. No six-man award for Quickly now, though.
That's going to be
he's a bona fide starter in this league.
Very interesting, boys.
Tomorrow night's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be in New York. I'm trying to figure out where I can sit so there can be a post game afterwards because there's going to need to be one, I'm sure.
Oh yes,
there's going to need to be one. So I have to find a quiet place for us to do a post game tomorrow because yeah. So here's the trade.
The Knicks in fourth right now.
Fifth behind Cleveland. We're a game behind. The funny thing is we are only a game back of Philly in the win column. We're a game back of third in the win column. Two games back overall.
Charles Barkley is not a buyer of the Bucks. He's a seller. He's been selling. Oh
really?
Yeah. He feels that.
I think the Bucks have some issues too.
He said as explosive
as they are offensively, they're just like Indiana. That's why you saw in the in-season tournament that game against each other, like that the whole final 5 minutes of that game, nobody played any defense. They were just going bucket for bucket. And firepower-wise, Indiana just had too much for them that night.
They just like Phoenix, man. They're trying to outscore you.
We need
Go
ahead.
I was going to say, looking at the comment, Woodall says that we should trade Mitch for Jonathan Kuminga? No.
No. I don't think, first of all,
no.
I don't think we should trade Mitchell Robinson. I think we should bring him off the bench. We don't need to trade him. We need him off the bench.
I'm telling you why, everybody. But remember, I brought it up today. I know. Listen, I don't believe he's expendable. I don't. But you got to look at the history of the Knicks brass. That's a Knicks move to trade Mitch because they found Isaiah Hartenstein on the cheap. That is a Knicks move. I'm not saying I agree.
But again, Hartenstein
that's a Knicks move.
It is. It has been a very Knicksy move for the last 40 years.
Yes.
Which y'all come back in a couple of weeks. We're gonna get that episode we told y'all about together so that we can air it.
Yeah, we got to make it
the top
happen.
10 worst GMs in Knick history. Jamel says Russell in shooting. He's running the team, bro, and he's going hard to the hoop. True. You play him alongside Brunson. You couldn't do it for long spurts. But Russ, like Brunson, they're both ball-dominant guards.
Right. Russ needs the ball. That was this problem in L.A. is that he had to play off the ball. That's why he wasn't successful. Because LeBron had the ball, and they finally put him with the second unit, and then it started working because he was able to dominate the ball. But putting him right next to LeBron, they had to create two different lineups for them to be apart.
Right, and with LeBron, and you saw with R.J. Barrett, like with Randall and Brunson, both of them are ball dominant. You don't need another ball dominant player alongside the two of them. You need what you have, which is OG Anunoby, who moves without the ball, Dante DiVincenzo, who moves without the ball, and Isaiah Hartenstein, quite honestly, who moves well without the ball,
And Josh Hart.
and can pass people open. Like guys like Josh Hart and Isaiah Hartenstein offensively, they have the ability to pass you open. They are elite passers. And for a big, Hartenstein is yo.
And you don't want to
His
start
court
him?
vision is fantastic.
And you don't want to start him?
It's not that I don't want to start him. I'm just looking at the lineup's construction and where I think, again, just my opinion, where I think he best fits for the team as currently constructed. As currently constructed, with Mitch still on the team, Isaiah Hartenstein is, for me, is better suited as a guy. Because if I've got a second unit that's struggling to get offense, a guy who can pass you open in the second unit is important for me. And if that's my 5, that's a good thing.
So you really believe that
he's automatically better than any backup center pretty much in the Eastern Conference.
So you believe that this second unit is going to struggle for the duration of the season?
As currently constructed,
that's question
yes.
number one.
As currently constructed, yes.
And question number 2, you don't think that Mitchell Robinson can add offense to that second unit?
No.
Then trade him.
But for the very same points that you made, he doesn't have good hands around the basket. He doesn't have a high motor with running the floor. You know, that's the second unit wants to run. Can't do that with Mitchell Robinson. He's not that gazelle big that's gonna run like Obi was. That's gonna run and you can just throw lobs to him all game long. Mitch is not. I don't see Mitch doing that. I'm just gonna say it for me. I don't see Mitch doing that.
What you say, J Mac?
Well, listen. I think that Mitch is a better. I don't think he's a bench player.
Right. That too.
I don't think he would thrive off the bench. It's like
you want to talk about disgruntled?
It's like bringing Randall off the bench. He was sulk. I don't think he'd accept it. If he accepted it, it'd be different. But I don't know if Mitch would accept that. Like, I mean, he'd have to do it if he was told, but you know what I mean, if he would embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he would embrace it. But I'm like, because Hartenstein is playing pretty good.
He is. He absolutely is.
And he's giving you the numbers that L was saying today that Robinson doesn't. He's scoring.
Listen, and I thought about it after we kind of started talking on because I got busy at work, but quite honestly, it's Hartenstein that's putting up the Bill Russell numbers right now.
Right. He's putting up double-double.
He's putting up the Bill Russell numbers. The 12 points and 15, 20 rebounds a game. I'm like,
the numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. And that's why I said I don't know if Mitch would embrace it. So if he's not going to embrace it, you got to play the guy that's going to. Right now, we're talking about Anunoby is the reason why. Hartenstein is every bit to do with this streak too, man.
Absolutely.
Nobody's saying it, but again, if you look at the numbers, he's a plus whatever when they're on the floor, when he's on the floor too.
Very true. Very true.
So that's why I have to, if I had to say it, if Mitch if he can't embrace that role, then yeah, you need to trade him and get something.
Jamel Lewis says,
and you're getting Hartenstein on the cheap. He just signed that deal. He's on the cheap.
But he's an unrestricted free agent after this year. Hartenstein's an unrestricted free agent after this season.
He's unrestricted.
He's unrestricted.
He's gonna get the bag after the season.
and that's why I'm also thinking from a business standpoint. Jamel says Mitch won't be happy coming off the bench. I just dropped the comment. There we go.
That's what I said.
He already thinks he's a big time scorer.
Yes.
He's delusional.
He complained earlier this season.
He's talking about he's running cardio.
Plays run for him.
Yeah.
He wants to be in the offense. I'm like, offensively doing what?
Okay, now let me say this. Because y'all heard me say earlier this season that if they did draw up some plays for Mitchell Robinson, I think that he would be effective.
Yes,
but he would have to play like a traditional center, right? So he would have to
back to the basket.
back to the basket.
Call for the ball in
Call
the
for the
post.
ball. But now,
He
after
needs to
that,
develop a jump hook or a floater. He's freaking 6'11" and can jump out of the gym. If he develops a floater, who's gonna guard that? Because
Nobody's gonna guard
Or a
Nobody can
5'10"
guard
foot
that.
jumper. Can he
Right.
get a 5'10" foot jumper?
he needs to spend $2 million this summer and go work out with Olajuwon.
Or Patrick Ewing.
I don't know if I want him to work with Pat Ewing.
No, Pat Ewing had a better
Well, he has
10-footer
a-
than even
His
Elijah.
body structure is not Olajuwon. It ain't too
Right.
many centers moving like
But-
Hakeem.
Right.
But Pat Ewing didn't have the footwork.
No, Patrick didn't have Olajuwon's footwork, but Patrick Ewing had touch. And if he can teach Mitch some touch, woo.
And Patrick had small hands, and he still
Yeah.
had touch.
And right, and he could catch the ball around the basket and finish.
Yeah.
We never had a problem with Patrick catching and finishing. That was never an issue for us. So Bishop
Just
Woodall
the
says,
finger
then,
roll, but we
then
ain't
like
count
L
that.
said, well, you can't even you can't blame that on his hands. That was just rotten luck. Jamel called Mitch Kwame Brown Part 2. Can't catch the ball.
Oh, God.
Y'all
Well,
remember
Kwame will
Kwame
come
Brown
for
had
you.
no hands at all.
Listen, Kwame will come for you.
Don't say
Right,
that.
right.
Kwame be
Kwame
like,
gonna be
keep
Kwame.
my name out your mouth.
In fact, keep talking about Kwame. That'll get our
Kwame
numbers
will
up.
come for
Yeah, talk about Kwame. Talk about
Kwame will
Kwame.
roll him to your house.
Get these numbers up.
Michael Jordan.
Kwame was ready to fight.
Yo,
Oh,
Kwame
my
will come to
Lord.
your crib.
Like, what you said about me, son?
Yes. He was ready to roll up on Stephen A.
But Mitchell Robinson, I agree. Mitch is delusional. But I go back to, again, I got to shout out 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Yo, Melo is a revelation on that podcast. 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, Melo talked about how during his time in Denver, one of the things that was important for him was keeping his bigs happy. He knew, yeah, I'm the white hat. Yes, this is my team. But if I want Marcus Camby to go get 20 rebounds, so if he out there doing the hard work, then I got to feed him in the post every now and then. Difference is
Right.
we know Marcus Camby could finish.
Kenyon
Can we
Martin,
trust
too.
Mitch to be able to finish?
Kenyon Martin was there.
And Kenyon Martin, same thing. He was like, I knew, if he's going out there cleaning up the boys, doing the dirty work, if he called for the ball every now and then, I got to get it to him. And his logic was, Melo said, because I know if I get it to him and he make that shot, he going to go get me 10 more boards because he going to be hyped.
Facts.
Listen, I'm excited, but I definitely want to see what the Knicks are gonna do to this trade deadline. This is gonna be very intriguing.
We are in a tough Eastern Conference. I'm very
Eastern
nervous.
Conference is wide open. Even though Boston is 32-9, they are very, very, very vulnerable.
They're
Especially
very vulnerable.
if Porzingis goes down with an injury. So
Brown
Which
is
is likely,
streaky.
East is
which
wide
is
open.
likely to happen.
Brown is very streaky.
So
Brown
I
does not
think-
deserve $330 million.
We done said that. We all in agreement on that.
That has got to be
Ain't
the
wrong
worst
with me.
signing in history of
We all
basketball.
in
right now.
agreement on that.
We are all going to agree that is officially the new Boston Massacre.
Yeah, you gave $330 million to a guy that's averaging 18 a game.
That was the Brinks job. He pulled the Brinks job on
Facts.
him. He backed up that Brinks truck.
Listen to me. Here's what I want to see, right? I would love to see us run the table a little bit on this next few games that we got coming up. 7.5 out of first place. I honestly want to see if we can jump to 3, which I don't think is beyond the realm of
This is the time to do
possibility.
it. The time to make the move is now. The time for the Knicks to make that move is now. A lot of home cooking. Even in this upcoming stretch, the only road game is in Brooklyn. So you're literally not leaving the state for the next 2.5 weeks.
And
Yeah.
we all know that Brooklyn is Madison
Brooklyn is
Square Garden.
MSG Brooklyn.
That-
Yes.
That's MSG Brooklyn.
Now we do play Denver on the 25th.
We've handled Denver at home over the last couple of years, even with Jokic.
Yeah.
We've beaten Denver at home the last couple of years. So
But Murray is back though. Murray wasn't there.
Murray is back, but
Murray.
again, I'm okay. I got Jalen Brunson. I never thought I'd be able to say that against another point guard.
We
but
got a point. We got a point.
I'm
guard.
okay. I got
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, so they can cancel each other out. They can go to for 40 apiece each. I don't care.
We got Indiana, February 1st.
We gotta
Lakers
get
at
that one.
home.
We
We gotta get that one.
Gotta get
we
the
gotta
Indiana
get that.
game. Agreed.
We gotta get that Laker game. We gotta get that Laker game. Well, I mean,
No, we got to get the Laker game. It's a home game. We got anything that's at the Garden. We got to get. We have to
gotta take
establish
those home
dominance
games.
at home.
we
Those-
gotta take these home games, yo. So you got.
You look if you get those games, you're looking at what 11 games over 5. We have 8 games over right now, aren't we?
Yep.
So you're looking at going 10 to 11 games over 500, which is very doable on this homestand.
When's the trade deadline?
February
The trade
8th.
deadline is
February 8th.
February 8th. We need to make a move.
We have
need to make
to.
we gotta make a move that's going to move the needle for us. Cause a good move,
Bishop Woodall is the answer to your question right there. Bol is injured. He was asking about why Bol wasn't playing.
Yeah, he's hurt.
he's injured. A good move can see us coming. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over the next 13 games, which the trade deadline is in that game, a good move can get us at a 10-3 record over those next 13 games,
Which is right where they need to be, as far as I'm concerned.
which is right where we need to be. In the next 10 games, we need to go 10-3.
So that you're
We
35 and
need
you're
to go
35 and
10-3.
20 at that point, and that's really good.
We need to go 10-3.
And is that before is the All-Star break in the middle of those 10 that 13 game stretch?
The All-Star break. Wait.
The trade deadline
You
is
said
the All-Star break is the following week.
Right. So that's in the middle of those 13 games.
Nah.
No.
It's
You
after the All-Star weekend is after those 13 games.
Okay.
Yeah, so
we
you got
we need to get these wins before the break.
We
So
need
you
to go
got
10-3 before the break, and then take that break. Because right out of the break, we got Philly and Boston.
So looking at it, you got Toronto tomorrow, which you should be able to win. They're depleted, even though it's going to be emotional for RJ and for Quick. They're depleted. You should beat them.
And I do not want to give them no standing ovation. I don't want to give them
No.
video tribute.
They're going to get their standing ovation in the pregame. They're going to get that. That's the Garden. Knick players that we love, when they get introduced, they will get that. And then the Garden I know is going to go right to booing them as soon as that opening tip happens, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Give them their flowers and then boo them off the court.
They might do a video tribute at halftime. So
Yeah,
don't
you
be
might see that.
surprised about that.
Or
They
during one
shouldn't.
of the timeouts.
We shouldn't have no video tribute. It's
Nah,
the
they're
middle
gonna
of the
do
season.
it. That's the
They're
that's
video
today's
tribute.
NBA.
That's
Yeah.
the problem
I'd be
with the
surprised.
NBA.
I'd be surprised if they didn't, because
I agree.
today's NBA, everybody gets a video tribute. Everybody,
Everybody.
That's true.
Freaking
Everybody
ball
gets-
boy.
everybody gets one.
The ball boy gets a damn
Yes,
tribute.
every,
I understand. Why
today's
is it like-
NBA, everybody gets a video tribute.
You don't bring us a chip, you shouldn't get no video tribute.
Listen, they gave Melo one. They gave Bernard King one. They gave Pat one. They give everybody a tribute.
Listen, the team motto is once a Knick, always a Knick.
Hey, listen, you playing the guard and you getting one. When Mark Messier came back when he left, they gave him one.
Yeah.
He won him a Stanley Cup though.
That's different. Yeah, he
But they
deserved
got-
the
they gave
video
him
tribute. He deserved the video
Yeah,
tribute.
That's
Mark
different.
Messier. Listen, they gave him a tribute. Listen, Paul Pierce, they gave him one when he came
I
back to
still say-
Boston.
I
Got
still
it.
say
They did.
it was the Rangers' fault. I still believe it was the Rangers' fault that we lost in '94.
What?
because
How?
yes,
Well, I got to hear
because
this.
the
I
court
got to
was
hear this.
moist. That was around the time they wasn't moving the ice from underneath the basketball court. The court was moist. It wasn't a good look. It was freezing cold in there. Yeah.
No, I blame OJ. That's who I blame.
Ah! Middle of freaking finals game. The finals game this game is
It wasn't enough
preempted.
of us watching, and that's what
Was
made
it the finals, or was that
It was the
against
finals.
Indiana?
That was the finals.
The
That was the
finals, game 3.
Game three of the finals. That was finals.
Oh, Jesus
We were
Christ, that
blacked
white
out from the
marker.
finals.
The OJ Chase wiped out the second quarter and half of the third quarter of game 3
Of game
because
3.
they was
even do
watching
a
we was
side by
watching a
side.
Bronco. Right, because we was watching a freaking Bronco. I remember because I had to go to the radio.
Yes, I had to go turn on Mike Breen
Yep.
because Mike Breen was still on the
Was on-
radio
yep.
back then.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why we
terrible.
lost that series. It was that doggone white Bronco.
OJ Simpson.
That's why
kept
we
the Knicks
lost.
from the championship.
And
So-
Sam Cassell and Sam I.M. went off on us in the Garden. Rookie.
Yeah.
Rookie.
Sam Cassell did
Rookie.
us dirty. He cooked Charlie Ward. He really did.
You had to see that coming, though.
And Derek Harper. But
Yeah.
so Toronto on Saturday should be a
Yeah.
win. Then a very important 2 days off, which will allow them to kind of regroup and finally get Anunoby and Precious and them into the offense a little
Yeah.
bit. Then Brooklyn on that Tuesday should be a win. Brooklyn's rebuilding. Then Denver at
I think
home.
I'm gonna go to that game. I think I'm gonna go to
Brooklyn?
that game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Denver at home that Thursday. Then they've got Miami that Saturday at home. So the next 4 are all very winnable.
Yes.
Then there's a road game sandwiched in between going to Charlotte.
Yes.
Then the second game of a back-to-back, the next night they're back home for Utah, which should be a win. They need to avenge that loss to Utah and Utah that they shouldn't have lost that game. Then you've got, of course, February 1st, you've got Indiana. Then the Lakers Saturday, February 3rd. Then 2 more days off. Yeah, the schedule gets real friendly after this. This is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're actually days off and stuff. This is good.
We should go 10-3.
And then
We
you've got
should go 10-3.
Memphis coming in. And then on the trade deadline, you've got Dallas coming in. Then you got
Yeah.
Indiana at home again. Indiana comes back on the 10th.
Yes.
So leading into the All-Star break itself, as J-Mac rejoins us, leading into the All-Star break, you go to Houston and you go to Orlando. Those are the 2 games before the All-Star break.
We gotta beat Orlando too, man. Or we gotta keep Orlando back where they are.
Woodall keeps saying, keep them away from Miami. Listen, we coming for y'all.
Miami is not the same Miami. We said this the other night.
They're not, but until they start losing, they're dangerous.
And Spoelstra,
Miami about
they got-
to
as
have-
long as they got
A
Eric Spoelstra.
Spoelstra coach team is dangerous, period.
Miami about to have your boy Spider.
You think Miami's getting him? But again,
think Miami's getting him.
Cleveland's not going to trade him either unless they fall out of contention, which it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Nah,
Like the
he's
East
stuck
is
here.
so wide open, you can't look for a superstar to be traded in the Eastern Conference because pretty much you got 11 teams that are legitimately in it in the Eastern Conference.
And the
There are 11
play-in.
teams that are legitimately in it.
The play-in game, you still got the play-ins. We
Yeah.
just trying to
We
stay out
need-
of the play.
We need to go 10-3. This next 13 games, we need to go 10-3. I can't stress it enough.
They need to go on a 13-game winning streak.
I mean, that's
That's
I mean,
ideal. They
That's
just
ideal.
They need to click and just go on a ridiculous winning streak.
My only concern, and we've been talking about this, and we've all agreed, these minutes from the starters,
Too
I'm
many.
just so afraid this thing is going to catch up to us playoff time.
Well, that's why I'm
Even-
glad
even
there's so many
injuries.
days off coming up.
And Brunson with these injuries, he got nicked up a lot last night too. I was like, ooh. I kept doing that last night.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
That was rough.
But he was balling, yo.
That
He
boy
was
was balling.
playing
Oh,
was
no,
playing
no.
his yo,
But that's what your superstar does. He's
and
like,
so
we're not losing this game. We're not
yeah,
losing this game.
and
You
yo,
can see that
they
in
was
his demeanor.
not
His demeanor said, I am not letting us lose this game. We're on the brink of giving this
Washington.
game away, and I'm not letting us lose this game.
And in the past, he would have
Washington would
lost that
not
game.
go away.
Yep.
Washington would not go away, yo.
They
In
wouldn't.
the past, and y'all know in the past, this Knicks team, when Brunson wasn't here,
Yeah.
we
They
would
would've
have
lost
lost that game
They
last
would have lost
night.
that game.
Let's
Yeah.
be
They would have
honest.
lost that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am
absolutely
because I was a little concerned. He twisted both of his ankles last night, guys.
Both of them, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that it doesn't hinder him going forward for the rest
We
of the
gotta
season.
get somebody that can spell him for longer.
We
Even when
need,
he's
we
on
need
the
a backup
floor,
point guard.
even when he's on the floor, we need him to play off the ball sometimes so he can get a break while he's on the floor.
That's DeJounte
Mhm.
Murray.
Yes, we need that, man.
That's DeJounte Murray.
We got to get Murray or we got to get DeMar. Those are the
And-
two. Those are the two I'm looking for.
And with me, Brunson is such a high IQ player that he becomes that much more dangerous with the DeJounte Murray on the floor with him
Off
because
the
he'll
ball.
know he can play off the ball,
Yeah.
which is going to allow him to go pick his spots and spot up in the corner from time to time and just kind of hide and find seams where Murray's a very good passer as well. They can get him going downhill to the basket and he becomes unstoppable at that point. Y'all know when Brunson gets downhill, that's why teams try to put bigger guards on him because you want to try to prevent Jalen from getting downhill. Because if he gets in the paint, you're cooked.
Yeah, he knows how to use his body. He knows how
Yeah.
to manipulate. He knows how to shoot off the angles. He knows how to recognize the driving lanes. He's just an ultimate weapon at the point, at the PG, at the one. He's just we haven't had this. I mean, even when we had Mark Jackson wasn't that type of guard.
No, he wasn't.
a penetrating guard where he's gonna take you off the dribble. He post you up,
Yeah.
but he wasn't gonna drive to the basket and get you off a pick and roll and all that. We've got a true point guard now.
Like
We
Brunson
haven't
has an
had this.
infinite bag.
We haven't had this since Steph Marbury. And before
In terms of
Steph
skill set,
Marbury,
yeah. In terms of having
Rod
like an
Strickland.
infinite bag, yeah.
Rod Strickland. You
Rod
took the
Strickland,
words right
baby.
out of my mouth. We haven't had this since
Eh.
Stephon Marbury, and before Marbury, Rod Strickland. Rod Strickland was cut. He was going to the
No,
basket.
right. He absolutely was. But
And I was-
I'm talking about in terms of overall bag. Like Rod couldn't really shoot that well from the perimeter. Marbury and Brunson are actually good perimeter shooters.
But I will be honest. Back in
But
the
yeah,
day,
but Strickland getting downhill was a problem. Absolutely.
if I could be honest, back in the day, I was a Rod Strickland fan. Get rid of Mark Jackson guy. I was one of the ones saying get rid of Mark and keep Rod. I was in the Rod Strickland camp. I'm just saying.
I'm not mad at that, but I was looking at it like let
I
these
was
guys
too.
stay together.
You was too, Butler?
I was too.
Okay, all right, okay.
I was, but the reason I was because Mark started getting fat.
And he started talking junk, talking about he should be considered in the same breath as Magic Johnson. Remember that comment?
Yeah,
Okay, D-Lo. Okay, Bishop D-Lo.
Mark.
You
Yeah,
remember.
Mark was bugging.
I
Yeah, he
do.
was bugging.
Come
back
on.
then.
I remember it.
And
Mark
then we
was
ended
doing
up
a bit
getting
too
Mo
much.
Cheeks, and he went to the bench. We got old Mo Cheeks.
Yep.
But anyway,
I do think that the Knicks traded Rod Strickland way too early, though.
yes.
They traded him way too early.
I love me some Rod Strickland, man.
Rod Strickland was a baller. Like he was a point guard for life, yo.
He
Like,
was a
Rod
New York
Strickland.
point guard, man.
He
Hot
was a
Rod.
true New York point guard.
Hot Rod Strickland, baby. Hot Rod, baby. Hot Rod.
He was
Man.
he was a New York PG for sure.
Like there was a string of New York point guards for a while. You had Mark, of course. You had Rod Strickland. You had Kenny Anderson. Like
Wafer.
Rafe,
Wafer.
Skip.
Skip to Malou.
There was just it was just, New York City public schools was just like a NBA point guard factory for a minute.
What about
Like,
what about this guy? He had a brief cup of coffee in the NBA, but he was cooking them in college. What about God Shamgar?
Sham God Wells.
He had
Yeah.
Woo!
Sham
he
was
was
a
cooking
problem.
them in
Sham
high
was a
school and in
problem.
college.
Sham was a problem.
Yeah, man. Listen, we got some
Listen,
history in this city.
that was the but
You come
that
here,
was
you better play.
that was the golden era of point guards.
Yes. You saw that documentary?
No, I didn't see it.
I didn't get to see it either.
I didn't
Point
see
guards.
it. But
Point guards.
Yeah.
point guards, yeah.
I gotta see
I didn't
that.
get to see it. I gotta find it online.
gotta
I'm
find
about to
it.
find it streaming somewhere. But that was the golden era. Like, listen, and especially that early '90s crew, I hated it because
Listen,
I had to play against them.
we had whether
Those
they
are the
were
cats.
in
Sham
whether they
God,
were in
Marbury. Those are the cats I had to play against in high school. I'm
Lincoln,
like, this is
baby
just not fun.
Lincoln.
Lincoln
You
was a
had
factory.
Steph, you had
Lincoln
Telfair.
was a freaking factory.
You had Stephanie, you had Telfair.
You had
Well,
Steph.
Telfair's under a little heat right now. Because Telfair been talking trash.
He's been talking. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of
He's
talking.
been talking trash. And matter of fact, Mark Jackson had to get at him the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he
Well,
was
I
like,
gotta
he's
look
the
this
best.
up.
He said he's the best point guard to come out of New York. And Mark was like, so wait, you gonna say? Mark was like,
Bro,
I'm
you're not even the best point guard in your family.
in your family. Exactly. He was like,
You're not even the best point guard
in your
and
family.
don't get me wrong, Sebastian Bassi was cool, but you're not even the best point guard in your family.
Yeah, he was no Listen,
And-
Marbury ran Coney out. He's still running. But Marbury
Yes.
ran. Marbury ran. I remember I was on Mermaid Avenue on my break because I used to drive bus out there. And I saw a blue Maybach roll up, go inside the hair salon. It was Steph rolling out there in a Maybach. Okay? That dude got out. Nobody bothered him. Everybody said, what's up? Nobody mobbed him. That dude was the kingpin of Coney out.
Listen, I'm still traumatized by Steph. He gave me 30 in the playoffs when we were in high school.
Listen.
And I was a plus defender.
Listen.
He gave me 30.
Steph
27 in the second half.
Steph was a problem. That's why
I held the nigga to 3 in the first half and thought I was doing something. I was like, I got this dude. I got him. Nigga lit me up I'm only saying it because he went on to play in the NBA because I'm embarrassed still to this day.
I did
That
not know
nigga
that
gave
Sebastian
me
was
27
talking
in the second half.
I gotta find that. Y'all done got me intrigued now.
I
gotta
didn't
find
play
that.
Steph.
Well, no,
Steph
you
is
because
younger
you
than me.
remember you're 2 years older than me, so
Yeah.
and I'm a year older than Steph. So like when I was a senior, he was a junior. He did that to me in his junior year. I was a senior. So
I
you
didn't
were
play him.
already out of high school by the time we got in. He and I
So
got in.
I didn't play him in high school, but I played him in Eastern District. Night Center. Now, at that time, I was a 2 and a 3. Because I'm already like in my 6'2" stage. So I'm a
That's
2.
true with all the Marbury family runs Coney Island. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
I
that's
was
right.
a 2. I was a 2 and a 3. So I didn't really have to D up on Steph that much. I didn't have to D up on him, but I seen him do some really crazy stuff that night. Yo. Let me tell y'all who else was nice though.
That dude has an infinite bag. Like Steph had an infinite bag.
Let me tell y'all who else was nice though. Booger.
Oh yeah, I got to play against him for 4 years because we were in the same
Booger.
division. Because he was at Westinghouse and I was at John Jay. So I got to play with him. We were in the same class.
Booger was at Westinghouse. He was wicked with it.
Yeah.
Who else? Jermaine Smoke.
I didn't get to play against him, but I heard about him.
Jermaine Smoke. Smoke was at Van Arsdale.
Yeah.
And Jermaine Smoke was killing. Another killer out of New York, Charles Jones.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Charles Jones, who took LIU to the dance.
Yep. Sure did.
As a matter of fact, he dragged LIU to the Elite Eight.
To the Elite Eight. Yep. on his back.
I remember that run.
LIU.
I remember that run.
LIU.
LIU, yes.
Yeah, I remember that run.
The
You
Blackbirds.
remember that run, Jay?
I
The
remember that run.
Blackbirds. Yes.
I remember it had Brooklyn was on fire, man.
Yeah.
I remember that run. Brooklyn was on fire that year when the LIU was going, man.
Brooklyn had an elite college basketball team.
Yeah,
You know that?
we had a college team in Brooklyn. Finally, in New York, other than St.
Charles Jones. Hey, St. John's wasn't doing nothing at
No.
Back
that
then,
time.
yeah.
No, they wasn't
Yeah.
doing nothing back then.
That was during the dark ages.
Charles Jones took LIU to the Elite Eight.
Yo, St. John's didn't do nothing since Mike Jarvis was the coach. and he had Ron Artest. That was basically when Ron Artest left. That was it.
Mike McFadden, I do. That's my badge of honor. I held him to 3 points in the first half. He gave me 27 in the second half.
Sticking to it.
But that first half was all me. And we was up by 6 going into halftime.
That's like Iman
Shumpert
said Kobe told him.
Right, because you had a good game, young fella.
You had a good game.
You had a good game.
He said,
You
wait,
had a
we
good
got a whole
game.
nother quarter to
So what are
play.
you talking about? It's the end of the third. He said, yeah.
And I wasn't talking no trash to Steph. Like, we weren't allowed to. Like, Smitty, my coach, he wouldn't allow us to talk trash because he taught us, you don't poke the bear. But inside, I'm
man.
like, yeah, I got this dude. Let's go.
You know who else was on? Yo, and I hate that his life is just jacked now.
Who?
Eric Barkley.
Oh, wow.
Eric Barkley, yo.
Yeah, he was out. He got drafted by Portland.
He got drafted by Portland.
Never did
This
nothing.
kid-
They never let him play in the NBA though. He didn't really play. He stayed on the bench.
Yeah, it's true.
But in college, yes, Eric Barkley was being talked about like one of the top draft picks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What's this other kid? Cook. That
Omar
went to
Cook?
St. John's. Omar Cook.
I remember him too.
Another one, man. And wasn't because Omar was at Christ the King too, wasn't
Yes.
That's what Kenny Anderson came out of too, right?
he? Kenny Anderson.
Or was it Bishop Lachlan?
No.
No.
Kenny Anderson
Mark-
went to
Mark
Malloy, I
Jackson
think.
Kenny Anderson went to Malloy. Mark
Malloy,
Jackson is out of
yeah.
Lockland.
Okay.
Yeah, Kenny Anderson went to Malloy.
Archbishop
Kenny
Malloy.
Anderson.
Okay.
Kenny Anderson, y'all.
Kenny Anderson, yeah.
Yo,
Kenny
I used to
Anderson.
I was a Georgia Tech dude because of that guy. I love him. Dennis Scott, man.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Kenny-
Steph said that's why.
I
Steph said that's why
was
he
a
went to
Georgia-
He went to Georgia Tech. Steph went to Georgia Tech because of Kenny Anderson.
Yes.
You know who else?
Bobby Cremins.
Yep.
You know who else? And we're not mentioning him, and he was off the chain. As a matter of fact, Mark Jackson said it the other day. He was like, yo, nobody mentions him, but the Jet,
Oh,
Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith.
Kenny the
I
Jet,
think,
he said
I think he's a part of the documentary though.
he
He
is.
should be. He should be.
Kenny the Jet
That's another
Smith
all-time great New York point guard.
was lethal as a point guard, but you know what made him even more lethal was that he can jump out the gym.
Yep.
The thing about that era, whether you were in public school or you went to private school, there were point guards all over the freaking
Everywhere.
city, man.
Yep.
It didn't matter if you was PSAL or
Yeah.
you know, it
Or
didn't matter.
Or CHSAA.
No, it didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
There were point guards everywhere in this city.
Well,
And
again,
everybody
everywhere,
wanted to be a everybody wanted
but
to be a
remember
point guard because of it. Everybody.
The rules were different back then too, because all this transferring that goes on now wasn't allowed back then.
Right.
Whatever
You had to
school
stay
was
where you were.
You had to stay where you were, and you had to make that team great. You
Yeah.
had to make that team great.
Nah,
see,
yo,
that it was just different because like you would see like there were like you just said, Jay, there were great guards everywhere. There were great
Everywhere.
guards on Long Island. There were great guards in Brooklyn. There were great guards in Manhattan. Like, you know what doesn't get talked about? And I'm sure you know a young man who became a rapper who played at Manhattan Center named Cameron Giles, better known as Cameron. Played against him too in high school. He's a problem. Killer Cam is a baller. A dominant point guard
He
who just had a
challenged.
different
He
Listen
path.
to
challenged
me.
Mario
Listen to
Chalmers
me.
to a game.
Listen to me.
He probably would beat him. Cam was a
Listen to me.
problem.
Cam is the reason why Steph didn't win every year in high school.
Exactly. Manhattan Center.
Because Cam and them won that chip that year.
Cam went to the Garden that year and said, "Nah, Steph, you're not getting this one."
Sure enough.
Cam put Manhattan Center on his back and gave Steph
Cam,
the business that I went to that game because that was the year Steph beat me. I went to the Garden that year and rooted for Cam because I needed Steph to lose.
He gave him work that game.
He did.
Cam gave him work that game.
I think Cam was the MVP that day.
Yeah.
I think Cam was the MVP.
Yes, yo, I'm saying New York just has such a rich history.
So many point guards that some of the point guards turned into rappers.
Listen,
because there was another guy on that Manhattan Center team that was coming off the bench named Mason Betha.
Listen, whether you was Rucker, whether you went to see him play at Rucker, or you was down in the village at West Fourth, I'm telling you, man, it was just crazy in the city, man.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got you had the different leagues that were going on.
AAU became a thing because of it, because you had the Gauchos, you had you had there was just so many teams.
You had the Flames.
You had the Flames. You had the Brownsville Hornets. There was so many teams. Basketball was year round. You played for your school, and then you played for one of them in the summer.
You play. Listen, you play pickup, and you know it, and that just goes to show you, you know, what it goes to show you what this generation don't even. You know, it makes it sound like we old, but no, it's not.
We are old.
We're telling you that you had places to go and hone your craft, and you had to pay nobody.
No, exactly. Right. You didn't have your mama didn't have to get you a coach that was going to charge you $3,000 for private lessons.
Bishop.
You didn't do that. You just went. You went to West Fourth and played against the best in the city. You went up to Dykeman and played against the best in the city.
You went to West Fourth. You went to Dykeman.
You went to Rucker.
You went to Rucker. You went to Tillery Park.
Tillery Park.
Yes.
You went to Tillery Park.
You went to Kelly.
You went to Kelly, right here at the junction. You went to Rodney Park.
Yes.
Behind Kellogg's.
Yes.
Yes.
Rodney Park behind Kellogg's across the street from the Commodore Theater.
Yes.
Where it was crazy.
Yo, those runs was out of control.
And we just
crazy.
talking about Brooklyn. We're not even talking about Queens and the Bronx and in Harlem. We just talking about our borough. It was basketball everywhere, and what people are paying for.
Yeah, Mike, you're too young for this conversation.
and what people are paying thousands of dollars from a basketball coach. You learn that on the court yourself. You didn't have to pay anybody. They would school you out there on that court.
Listen, I'm coaching my son's team now down here, his little league team here, because down here basketball is becoming a really big thing. So like neighborhood associations have teams. So I recently took over my son's age group team as their head coach, and the parents come up to me in practice. They're like, "I've never seen a practice run like this," and I'm like, "Well, what were y'all doing down here before I got here? Because this is how I learned."
I'll tell you what they was doing. They was getting robbed.
Because the stuff I'm teaching them for free, these coaches were these so-called gurus.
Bro, just go through social media, and you see. I'm like, they actually charging hundreds, thousands of dollars for a dribble drill. For a dribble drill, a layup line.
Oh yeah, Roberto Clemente. Yes, that part. The IS-8 tournament. Woo!
Listen to me.
Yeah.
I used to get
the BRC and Brown. Yeah,
that's right. I live around the corner from the B. You know that, Butler. My parents still live around the corner from the B.
Yep.
Yo,
I used to listen. I
stayed at the BRC as well. I lived in Tilden. I grew up in Tilden.
I used to get cones.
That was home.
I used to get cones, and I would zigzag through those cones. Suicide. I mean, like the conditioning, getting your dribble up, tie my right hand tie my right hand to my body and force myself to dribble with my left
Mm-hmm.
so that I could be an ambidextrous
Bro,
dribbler.
how many of us, come on, how many of us on here did the Isaiah Thomas dribble? The Isaiah Thomas drill between the legs.
Between the legs. Yeah. That's
And
a staple.
he showed you that for free on TV.
On TV.
He
Yeah.
showed it on into what's that? Inside Stuff. He showed
Inside
us
stuff.
that
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Inside
NBA
Stuff.
inside stuff. Yeah.
Come
Yes, I
on.
remember that. Yeah. Yeah. But it's true. Getting in the summertime, getting up at the crack of dawn, getting your ball and going straight to the park. And you was out there all day.
Bro, we used to play in the rain sometime. The game was so good. We was like, yo, so what? We had to take our time because the court got slick. So you had to really balance yourself when you was driving, but it taught us how to shoot jump shots and how to
Yep.
do floaters.
And you know, most of our parks were lopsided anyway, so we learned how to shoot off balance from that. Like,
Yes.
The park was lopsided. It had manholes in it.
yeah.
Cracks. It had cracks going across because they wouldn't repave it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was no budget to repave the court. It was what it was.
Especially at Bristol Street Park over there
Listen.
across from Bestie Head. That park was terrible, but I was there every day.
Listen, I played out in 275 Park every day. I was in the
Oh,
five.
I went to 275, so yeah, I
Listen.
know that park very well.
I was in the 5 every day in the summer playing
Yep.
out there on those rims.
on that, and those rims were terrible.
Terrible.
I know from when I was in junior high school, those rims were terrible.
Terrible.
Now
Yeah.
they fixing up basketball courts everywhere.
Everywhere.
And nobody
when I
sued
started
them.
seeing them putting up fiberglass, I was like, "Oh, you want to wait till I'm
That's
an
why.
adult?"
That's why That's why they fixing them up, because they know these kids ain't going out there to play on them.
They not playing on them.
Yep.
They inside doing this.
Yep, Woodall, that's right. Run on the beach and dribble on the boardwalk for your handle. Yep.
They inside doing this. Video game.
It's true, because I have to get DJ with that all the time. And I'm like, all right, enough of the video games. Let's go. We going outside. We going across the street. Because there's a court right across the street from us right here. That's one of the things that sold me on this house that I bought. I'm like, oh, there's a court right across the street. Let's go. We ain't even got to drive to your school. We going right here across the street. We're gonna get some shots up. We're
Come
gonna
on.
run. Like you're gonna do all the things I did.
We had to learn how to shoot on the double rim.
Who? The worst rims
Double
known
rim.
to
Worst
man.
rim ever made by man. The double
The
rim.
double rim.
Come on,
Whose
man.
idea was that? It was the worst idea. I'll never forget the first set of double rims I shot on. I think it might have been, where was that? It might have been when they first fixed up Riverdale Park.
Yes.
When they redid
When they
Riverdale,
redid
put
Riverdale
double
and put
rims
that
there.
that whole little
yeah.
play area out there.
Yes,
because I
yes, they
played
put
on it.
that was
and
the
I
first
had my
ones. Yep.
jumper, and the jumper, it would be hitting the back of it. Doink.
Yeah, doink.
It looked like I was shooting
And
perfect.
everything was a long rebound. Yeah. Yes. Those rims were terrible.
Hated the
That
double rim.
rim was something.
See, but these guys, all this stuff we talking about, these kids know nothing. Even the ones behind us, these millennials, they don't know nothing about this stuff, bro.
That's right, Mel. You knew if you could shoot on a double rim,
You
knew
had
your
a
shot was
game.
water.
Yes,
You knew you could shoot.
yes. But that's the
Facts.
thing. The double rim helped your form because you had
Yep.
to
It
make
did.
sure that thing was perfect.
You had to put an arc on it.
Yep.
You
And
had to put an arc on
it
it.
improved your touch because your touch had to get softer if you wanted the rim to be friendly.
No line
Yes.
drives.
Yeah.
None. Nope. You had to get arc and you had to have some touch.
And see that was my problem. I shot a line drive jumper.
Woodall said no, the double rim perfected your backboard jump shot.
Yes, it did that too.
You used the backboard a lot more than double rim. That's very true.
It did that
Very
too.
true.
Yes. Well, fellas, listen, man.
Yeah,
Unreal.
this was a great show.
Very good show. This was nice, man.
We'll do some more of these during the course of the year where there's not a game on, and we'll come and we'll tell stories.
Yeah.
Because that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
it boils down to. Because we got a million of them, but you know they're especially if you grew up in New York playing ball in that era of the '80s into the very early 2000s. Oh
Yeah.
man, it was some of the best basketball you could think
And
of.
trash talk, the NBA be talking about trash talk. They ain't seen trash talk till you come on a Brooklyn court.
What?
You play on a Brooklyn court?
Niggas
Trash
was
talk?
insulting your mother immediately.
What?
Like it was just
It was
bad.
it was brutal out there, man.
Right.
And
Right.
you played to win, because if you lost, you wasn't getting back on the court because there was too many cats out there.
They was waiting. I got next. Come
Yeah.
on. Who got next?
Yeah.
You could end up waiting for an hour for a game, and then you better not lose.
But you didn't
Because if
care,
you
Better not
lose,
lose.
you wasn't
even
getting
if you had
back
to-
on.
Even if you had to go on the side, you was out there with the camaraderie. You was out there talking. You was out there
Yeah.
watching the game. There was females out there, so it was
Yeah.
just it was a whole thing going on out there.
That was the best part, of course.
Because you better
I mean-
not have lost
mean-
in front of them.
I mean, come on, I'm talking to two other basketball players here. Come on.
I have
the best
nothing to
part-
say.
That's all
Not-
right. It's okay.
Not
Your wife's in the
engaging
next
in
room.
this conversation.
Oh,
My
Of course
wife's
not.
upstairs. Your wife's in the next room. You good?
And mine
Okay.
is upstairs.
Mine is upstairs. So listen.
We are live. She could be in the next room and still be watching.
Still be
Listen.
watching.
Before we go, I didn't
Yeah.
do this the other night, but I want to say this. I want to say congratulations to you, bro, Butler. What a video. What an
you,
excellent
man.
production, bro.
Y'all go
we didn't
check
get a
out
chance
All
to
Right,
say
All
it the
Right.
other- Yeah, we didn't get a chance to say it the other night, but I wanted to make sure I said it tonight. Job well done, my friend. Job
Thank
well
you,
know,
done.
man.
You know, there was a time where he would send me the video first so I could play it, but
He didn't
he's
do
moved
that
up.
this time. He usually sent it to
Yeah,
us too.
Right,
But
right.
didn't do it this-
He's
we just
moved
got
up.
a text that said, "Go to my
Right.
page." He getting big now, you know.
He getting big, right? He getting big. So we gonna have to get his schedule to come on this podcast. So
That's right. That's right.
That's not true at all. But the album drops February 14th.
February
Um,
14th, y'all. Family Dynamics. L.
and,
Butler, please go out and
I
And
stream
go
I
it
to
know.
his
everywhere.
page if you haven't seen the video. I'm telling you,
Yeah, it's dope.
phenomenal job.
It's dope.
I'm telling
It's
you,
real dope. It's real dope.
primo.
And
I mean, his
I
videos
don't
are
know.
usually good, but this one is really, really good.
This one was yeah.
And y'all know who-
It's definitely a feel good video. It's
Yeah.
definitely
Y'all
a
know
feel good
who?
video.
Y'all know who shot that video? Stunner J.
I saw.
Stanley
Guerrell's
Gurrell's son.
I saw.
And
Kids got
I
talent.
mean, it was just he's got Muko talent. But I don't know if you're gonna be here February 3rd, Dwayne.
February
But,
3rd. I was trying to come in to go to the Laker game.
That's
Well, that
a
was the
Saturday
game we
night.
all be trying to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
It's
didn't
a
make it
Saturday
happen.
night. But I got the listening session for the album
Okay.
at an undisclosed
At an
location.
Well, send me the details, and even if I got to come up by myself, I'm gonna support you, bro.
All right, cool. And I know Cynthia already told me that y'all will already be in Brooklyn that day, so y'all are straight with babysitters, and it's
Yeah,
right there.
We'll already be in Brooklyn. 'Cause she's doing her
I
prayer
can
board-
play it on
her
the show.
prayer
He
board
hasn't sent me the video yet. Where he sends me the video, because there used to be a time where I would get the listen before everybody
Exclusive.
else. I would get exclusives. I would see.
Well,
the
you
videos
still
before
do, Dwayne.
everybody
You
else.
still.
Well,
you
that's
and
true.
Jay, y'all still
I've-
get music before anybody.
I've heard most of Family Dynamics already, so that is true. I have heard most of the album already.
Well,
so,
no, not quite. But
no. How many tracks you got? Because
There's 18
you
joints on
sent
there now.
me how many?
18.
Oh, well then never mind.
Oh, you pulled the-
because
you pulled the
I've
Life
only
After
heard
Death
I've only
one.
heard 6.
You
I
pulled
thought
the
he was talking
life
about
after death,
like 10 or
18
12.
tracks.
If he went to 18 tracks, so I've only heard 6. So
Oh my God.
yeah,
And
I haven't
it's-
heard the rest of the
and
album then.
You pulled
When I
the
tell y'all,
you pulled the
this
De La
album,
Soul
He did.
Life After Death on us, man. Remember
He
that
did.
De La, that first
Yeah.
De La album?
Yep.
How many tracks
De
was
La
on that
Soul is
joint?
dead. Yep, that joint
three,
was
3 feet high, 3 feet
was
high and
like
rising.
21.
Yes.
3 Feet High and Rising.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like 21
Um,
tracks on that joint.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's a combination of music and interludes and drops. So,
Uh-oh.
but
What else there? Wait, so I'm not invited to the listening party?
I hit you up.
It's at an undisclosed location. He can't give
It's
out that
undisclosed.
information on here.
Bags. But I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm very proud of this album. And Jay has heard. Jay probably heard just as much as you've heard. The PK. I'm a PK.
I heard that. I heard that when it was still in reference mode, and I was blown away. That the original version of it. So I know it's ridiculous now,
The
but the
original
original
version was
version of it, I
crazy.
was floored by it, by the
Did you put
transparency
First
of it.
Lady on this album?
First Lady is on that album.
First,
Yo,
I
that
heard
joint-
First
that-
Lady
that-
right after the reference version of that. I heard that. I
That's
was just like, yo,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
First
That's-
Lady is on the album.
That's
I'm a PK
ridiculous.
did something to me because like I told him and I remember telling him I said, yo, this song is prophetic. It's like you literally tapped in to what young pastors' children are feeling. You
And the
tapped
pastor's wife.
into that.
You tapped into
Yeah.
that with First Lady.
That
Yeah.
was woo.
Yeah.
It's a very
I'm
prophetic.
telling
album.
y'all, if y'all listening, you listen. Support.
Please get not just because he's our brother, but yo, this is good. This is
It's
good
because it's
music.
dope. It's because it's dope.
This is good
It
music.
is.
If you like hip hop, you're gonna love Family Dynamics. You gonna and
Yeah.
Woodall is feeling some kind of way. Please hit him up.
He said my name wasn't mentioned.
He is feeling
Yeah,
some
bro,
kind
we
of way
better
right
help him get
now.
off of here because you're gonna have a whole bunch of people saying this to you. You better get
Yeah.
off.
Tomorrow
You better
night,
get- you better
join us
get off of
post game. Knicks Raptors tomorrow night. We will be. We don't usually do Saturday. We don't usually do weekend post game
Special
shows.
edition.
But tomorrow is a special edition because the kids are coming home.
Kids are
And I'll
coming
shoot
home.
I'll shoot the video to you, Dwayne, so you can play it.
We'll
on the
play
show.
it. We'll play the video tomorrow night on the post game.
Excellent.
So let everybody know that if you haven't seen all right, you'll get to see it on this show tomorrow night. At some point after the game. Join us tomorrow night. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks to Bishop Douglas Woodall. Thanks to my brother Superior Edwards, Mike McFadden, Pastor Jamel Lewis. Who else was on here tonight? Just everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Continue to like, share, tag, comment, subscribe to the YouTube page so we can grow that part of it because that's where the money's at. So we need y'all to subscribe to the YouTube page so we get this money. And we appreciate y'all. We changed up the opening a little bit because we done traded away half the guys that are in our opening. So I just made the opening us now.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was. I saw it today. I said, all right, Bishop D-Lo, I see you.
I love
see
it.
you."
I love it.
I said I got to change it. All these guys is gone now. So
I love it.
I got to change it. So
Get-
join us
get
tomorrow
clips.
night.
Get clips of the 90s. Play that.
I might have to do that. I might have to go find some 90s stuff. Big shout out to Jay Hen, of course, for doing our theme song. We appreciate
Yes.
him as well. You wasn't on the other night. He told me and J Mac that if the Knicks won one more game, he was coming home.
Said he coming home.
So we won today.
We won yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was the game,
Right,
so we
and-
got to
and-
get him
and we
on tomorrow
said-
night.
And we told him he needed to be on here. So we basically blowing him up because he didn't come on.
Yeah. Jay Hen, clear your schedule tomorrow night. You said you want to be a part of this show. You get to be a part because we're gonna give you the right hand to fellowship. Well,
And
no,
you
J
better
Mac
be-
said you
better
gotta
be
bring your
adorned in
letter.
And he better be adorned in his orange and blue.
Uh-oh.
Well, he
wait,
had a
wait.
post up the.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He had a post up the other day where he was wearing orange and blue.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay. So, well,
He's sticking his toe in the water.
he is.
We don't want him. We don't want him. We don't want him.
I don't want him to jinx us the way y'all jinxed Brooklyn last year.
Oh, Butler.
I mean, I can easily say I don't want him to jinx our show like you did a couple of weeks ago with that Brooklyn shirt.
Oh, what? This is what we doing?
That wasn't a couple weeks ago. That was earlier this week.
This is
Right.
what we doing, fellas? This is what we doing?
Yeah, on a Brooklyn shirt
On a Knicks podcast.
on a Knicks podcast.
This is what
All
we
right.
doing, y'all. Y'all my brothers. Wait a minute. I
I'm
feel
just
attacked.
saying.
I
I'm
feel
just saying.
I feel attacked.
Cause you was
funny.
running the Brooklyn as well.
Yeah, y'all, yeah, yo, I gotta go.
Listen,
I gotta
it
go
was
pull out
getting
those text
bad. Let's
messages
be
between the
honest.
three of us during that. It was really bad.
It was.
It was
They
really,
lost to the Spurs,
really
and they didn't even have
bad.
Wembanyama.
It was really, really bad. But I'm redeeming myself because I just got my new City Edition jersey in the mail. I'm gonna wear that tomorrow night. I'm gonna wear my City Edition jersey tomorrow night. But again, as always, Orange and Blue Skies. Thank y'all. Tomorrow night, Nick game is 7:30. Join us somewhere around 9:45, 10 o'clock. We will be on. Let somebody know. Bring somebody in. We want to see you there. Until then, have a great night, everyone. See you tomorrow night.
Peace.